Joined here by co-vice captain Jacob Weitering after a quite incredible 2023 season. Weiters, everyone who's walked in so far has called it a roller coaster. I dare say you'll call it the same.
Yes, very close to one. Obviously a crazy year for a number of reasons. The way we played as a team. First half of the year was definitely bumpy. We certainly won in tough ways early and then went on that losing streak, and I guess it was a bit of a personal journey for me as well. And the turnaround came, I think for me, the Collingwood game. I guess the story around playing Collingwood as well off the back of last round last year and the way they gave us a hiding during the year. There was a campfire with Ed sort of that week after, and I think the Sydney game was probably the turning point in terms of the way we performed as a team, and we went after things that we valued and celebrated roles and players for the right reasons. And yeah, it was just a joy and a pleasure. I was probably smiling a lot more than I usually do in the back half of the season. Winning helps, and yeah, it was a pretty awesome journey, and I wouldn't like to have it any other way, I guess. We're clearly a step off still. But to make finals, win a final, awesome. Sort of the monkeys off the back a little bit with winning a final now, and we know we can do it, and our game plan holds up in those games. And yeah, to play in a prelim, pretty special. Didn't think we were going to be there, but very, very, I won't say satisfying year, but I guess I'm proud of the playing group and the way we went about it, and hopefully we can go again next year.
What did it teach you?
Patience. Trust, belief, and I don't know, resilience is probably something that Carlton fans probably don't want to hear because they've been hearing it for a number of decades now. But I mean, the playing group, the coaching staff, and the footy department top down, it's pretty incredible that we probably were able to stick together in such a tough time. And I mean, there were certainly expectations and projections that we were going to be where we were or where we finished, and that didn't look to be the case in the first half of the year. So I think the way the group and the club stuck together was pretty critical. I think to our journey and our team story. Vossi talks about writing our own pages in history, and we've started to do that. It's only the start, which is very exciting. Vossi put up a really good sort of graphic of Brisbane's journey over the last 5 years, and they've certainly done it the hard way and been there and fallen at the final hurdle. And
you mentioned Carlton fans might not want to hear resilience because they've heard it for so long, but this year they saw it. Is that the difference? Yeah,
I think it's a good way of putting it, actually. It's very easy to fold in situations like the midway point, especially. Again, I'll give credit to sort of the top down, the trust in the playing group, the leadership, and the trust that they had for Vossi was critical, and we just needed to turn it around as a group. We certainly got the players, we know that. There was a game plan element, and there was valuing the right things and playing the right way, and I think the way we played, it was tough, contested, pressure and contest is something that we've talked about a lot, and I think you saw it, yeah, probably just about every week. You know, we've put values up on the wall, and we've certainly built on them the last 2 years with Vossi, but to see them come into action and build an identity that can hopefully win us some finals is, yeah, pretty cool to be a part of.
The finals tagline for Carlton was stronger together, but that wasn't just lip service. That was something that Vossi's really ingrained in the group since pre-season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could go a number of ways with that. I think, I don't know the exact number, but it was high 30s for the number of players that played this year. We had guys that missed 2, 3, 4, 5 games, whatever it was, and different guys come in off the back of probably pretty limited pre-season. So Marchie, David Cunningham, Sam Walsh, albeit he played a lot of football, but guys came in, Lockie Fogarty, I can keep naming plenty of guys and give them a lot of credit, but they came in and did a role for the team, and it's a massive part of it. I think the magic number is 35, 36 to win a premiership, and we've shown that we've got a crew that can really stand up when we need it. So I think in the past we might not have had that depth, and shows the work and the commitment that the guys at the VFL level and development level have. It's very exciting for the group, and hopefully, we can keep providing those opportunities for guys to perform at the highest level.
I think I'm right. Were you a D supporter growing up?
I was, yes.
Run us through that semi-final.
Oh, it's probably, probably the last 2 years I've played in some unbelievable games that have gone both ways, and that was by far and away probably the most emotional I got. Didn't quite cry, but I was very close to. Just the passion, the build-up, and the way we won it was just incredible. Had some pretty amazing individual stories as well with certain players, and obviously the journey we've had as a team this year to it all culminate in a minute 30 to go, and just a play that I hope will go down in sort of history, or at least our team's history, and to be a part of that as well, to intercept it, switch it to Ollie, and Ollie to move it to probably the most courageous person I know in Doc, and to take it on, and Blake Acres, who just shows up in big finals, is pretty cool. So, I mean, that was the one moment that sort of won us the game, but it was a pretty, bruising affair, I guess, against Melbourne, and got them back after barracking for them for so long, and them not doing so well, so it was good.
Draw in round one, and then that Melbourne game was the 5th time that Carlton won by a single-figure margin and didn't lose by a single-figure margin for the rest of the year. Polar opposite to those last 2 games last year.
Yeah, learning. Definitely learning opportunities and drive. Being in that situation, Vossi talked about, we're a big club and we play in front of some pretty big crowds in big games, and at times we failed, and there's nothing wrong with failing, as long as you learn from those failures. And the last 2 games, I think, hit the group pretty hard, and you could go one or two ways. You could fold, which is, in a way, it was looking like that in the first half of the season. But again, the Collingwood game late, the Port Adelaide game on their 13-game win streak, even the St Kilda game and the way they play, it was very defensive. There was just a number of moments and games and a patch of games that we really need to stand up as a group, and we certainly did that. And then come finals, to play Sydney, who's just been there and done it multiple times, with a great culture and a great history, was pretty cool. And then the Melbourne game, obviously, as well. So
we are here in grand final week talking and not playing, however. So is it a bit of a matter of proud but not satisfied?
It's probably the right way of putting it. I think I sort of frame it in the sense that we definitely did it the hard way in the back end of the season to get to a prelim. Just to play in a final was probably a goal of a lot of guys, and the guys that have been here a long time definitely wanted to do that. And to win one, again, I sort of said the monkey's off the back. It's not about winning a final, it's certainly about going forward and impacting them, as Vossi sort of talks about. And I don't want to say the prelim's the best one to lose, but it's certainly the most motivating, I would have thought. I'll reference Brisbane again. I think they've lost 2 prelims prior to this journey over the last 5 years, and the 2 teams that lost the prelim last year are in the grand final this year. So it says a bit about their journey and what, I guess, path we can take, and hopefully we can just take that next step next year, and I'm sure everyone will get 1 or 2% better over the pre-season, and we'll go again. You've
touched on Vossi there. So many people have spoken about him this year, but I guess just now with the chance to look back a little bit on the season, do you marvel at how he managed to do all of it with, I think he's referred to a storm on the outside?
Yeah, he's very good at saying the same thing 100 different ways, and that's sort of the art of being a coach. He's a very, very good communicator, and I've said it before, but a very good leader of men, and he's been there and done it at the playing level. And I think the way he's, with all the noise that was surrounding him especially, he could very easily probably move away from, what was most important. And he did a terrific job at levelling both the club, the team, the leaders, and making sure we were doing the right thing. And you got to give him massive props for the way we perform. So I'm sure he'll carry that forward and keep improving us, and yeah, hopefully we can do a job for him.
I know it's all about staying in the present, as the coach likes to say, but if you want to get the crystal ball out for a second, what does 2024 look like? What's next?
More wins early would be good.
More into the middle as well?
Yeah, no, I think, again, I think we know what we are. And I don't want to say that we didn't, but we've certainly not simplified, but worked out exactly what we want to go after as a team, as a club, on the field, off the field. And now we just get to go to work on it for another pre-season. And guys that are 24, 25, 26 are certainly coming into that sort of 100 to 200 game bracket. That's experience, that's learning, and hopefully, yeah, we can just be a bit more consistent across the year with our performances and the way we go about it, and that provides opportunities to impact probably a bit better than we did, especially in the prelim.
I'll go to two people who won't be there next year that we know of. I'll start with a very great mate of yours, Lockie Plowman, announced his retirement on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows a little bit about what Lockie's been through in terms of commentary around him, but you speak glowingly about him, and he'll be someone that's missed in the locker room for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I could probably give you there's a fair few explicits I could give in terms of the treatment of Plough, but I think more to it, his standing in the group probably speaks more about him, and the support that I think, not the support, but basically the praise that the playing group gave him throughout his time at Carlton is evident of how much we valued him. He came third in the BNF a couple of times, and he was almost the first guy picked for a number of years there whilst we were doing it pretty tough. His intelligence, his ability to play the game, selfless, mentor blokes like myself. He's always smiling, which is a big thing as well. For guys like me who probably don't do it, and he's an incredibly valued member of what we've built here already, and it's obviously sad to see him go, but he's had an incredible career, 140 odd games and 2 clubs and leadership position, top 3 in the BNF, as I said, and clearly someone that's impacted this group going forward. So I wish Plough all the best. I hope to see him at games next year. He's always welcome as a Carlton man, and he'll be very, very missed.
That leads me to Ed Curnow. Will you miss Ed Curnow in some weird way?
Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, Ed's just, I think what you see is what you get with Ed. Pretty common way of describing him. Very different character, certainly his own man, but a hell of a player, hell of a journey, an incredible father, which most players have seen firsthand, and family man. He comes from a great family. And I think just his energy and leadership and just him as a person, his personality, will definitely be missed at this club. And he, for the work he's done both on and off the field for himself and this club, he won best clubman a handful of times, probably 5 or 6 times on count, and he leaves behind a pretty good legacy, and again, someone that's always going to be a Carlton person and always welcome to, I'd love to see him down the rooms with his kids, and you never know, hopefully Will, Alice or Jim are in a Carlton jumper at some point, and hopefully Charlie can continue the Curnow legacy for sure.
Will that legacy that Ed leaves be nudie runs or whatever the hell went on at Camp Curnow? Because this is growing legs.
Chaos, I think. Yeah, a bit of chaos he'll leave behind, but happiness, joy, fun, and just someone that, did it his way. So,
you, pivoting back to, I guess, the club to finish off, I guess when you came in, you were the number 1 pick in that 2015 draft. Firstly, the chance that for all 5 of you to play together again, it was a long time coming, but I think it was round 16 against Hawthorn was the first time in 4 years that the 5 of you were out there in the jumper together.
Yeah. No, injuries, form, whatever it was, seemed to get in the way, but I guess the biggest positive is to still have everyone on the list and doing well, and to, Charlie's had some unbelievable performances, especially over the last 2 years. Harry, Coleman medalist, Sauce and his legacy and the club and his name, And David's journey, just through sheer resilience and desperation to get back on the playing field, it's pretty incredible to have sort of a draft that's come through together and built, I guess, what we've built so far. Yes, we're a small part of it, but it's pretty special.
You came in as that number 1 pick in that year, and perhaps unwillingly you were touted as being the face of the Carlton reset or rebuild, or however it was marketed. You sit here 8 years on and just finished in the top 4. I guess there's a different narrative around Carlton going into next year. How does that sit with you?
Yeah. I think we've spread the load really well. I think that's probably a good way of putting it. I mean, it used to be, Cripps, Captain Cripps, and Sam Doherty for a number of years, and I think our ability to both develop as people, as leaders and as players, especially over the last 3 years, has been great help for Cripper and Doc and this club. So the maturity that we're showing now and the window that I've sort of alluded to previously is definitely open. So hopefully we can just get more guys in that bracket, and I'm sure the wins will come, but the process is just as important, and look forward to it.
Hungry for more?
Definitely. Pretty shitty that the holidays are now, and as you said, we're speaking now on grand final week, but yeah, we'll be back next year for sure.
Thanks, Weiters.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.